Kansas for the first time in TNT's history. 125 laps at the 1.5-mile oval. The pride of Rockwall, Texas, Donald Ray, starts in position number 3 as the green flag comes out. Gaiman leads us to the line. Pressey beats him there. Green flag is out. Two laps, clean and green in the heartland. Nick Pressey, two-time A-Rock 4 winner, now leads one of the Bluegrass Bandits in the pride of Greensburg, Kentucky. Toby Estes in the second position, contending for a points lead this time around. And it sounds like we have early commentary from Philip the Cat. Philip, what do you think about your chances for Toby Estes' chances to win this race? Now, he sits behind Nicholas Pressey in that 94, but he's making a strong run for the lead. How do you figure Toby will get around him? Wise words from Philip the Cat. 4 laps into this race. It's Pressey, Estes, and Belleville. .120 revolutions to go around Kansas. Josh Gaiman, the pole sitter, now sitting in third. The winner of the last 2 races, Noah Belleville, in that 41 car. He's currently rolling in the 4th position, and he brings a lot of hope to win this championship. A lot of, and we're going to say it all season. So, a lot of jokes we make about Noah's part-time schedule. And we hope he'll have the ability to run the majority of the schedule this year. And I'm excited to see what the rest of this season will bring. Regardless, no matter what happens with Belleville and no matter how many races he can run this season, every single time he gets out on the racetrack, he is a threat to win. Period. Seeger, the sophomore, in the 1-6, ahead of Donald Ray, going wide out of turn number 2. And the Tampa driver, Ryan Lindemann, in the Trans Diesel 51, sneaks to his inside and behind them. 2-time TNT champion Tom Sears in the 1-4, Chris Fleming behind him. And from the other side of Kansas City, from the Missouri side of Kansas City, the 1-2 of Ryan Pinnell. Bringing the Mac Tonight machine to the racetrack, Kyle St. John just getting around him for the 10th position, the Massachusetts driver. Might not hold it for long. Tom Sears is on the move, though, up to 8th, and now with Lindemann ahead of him. Let's go on board with the 14. Change at the front. New leader in the black number 8, the famous black Chevrolet with the famous Dale Jr. 8 on the side. Toby Estes, new leader. Gets around Nicholas Pressey for first place. Let's see how that pass happened. Pressey gets into the wall, and he makes himself just a bit less comfortable in the lead. He's got a heavy damage on the front of that 94. He still sits in the second position, but now here comes Gaiman. The AROC 4 champion sneaks to the inside, and now he puts his 6-1 DIY Chevrolet in the second position. Pressey with the run out of 4, but he's got to be careful. Nick Pressey is a very fast driver, but he has a reputation for getting himself into too much damage. He's running the high line, obviously the more risky line, while the rest of his peers seem to be running the low line in 1 and 2. Watch again the line he runs out of turn number 4. See if it is close to the wall like it used to be. Nick Pressey running up to the high side, and he just keeps it off of turn number 4. Hopefully he's learned his lesson. The Brooklyn pilot in the bronze medal position, while here comes Grandma Jeannie's favorite. Shout out to Grandma Jeannie in the chat, and we've got Tristan fans in the chat as well. Noah Belleville in the 41. Matt Seeger in the 1-6 behind him, and then Tom Sears in that 1-4. He sits in 6th. 3-time TNT champion Aiden Norman in the house. He says, stop jinxing Nick Pressey. Well, we'll see what he can do. Curse of the Commentator is strong in TNT. The ancient but still sharp Donald Ray in the 9th position. Just celebrated his 147th birthday last Wednesday. Happy birthday to the old man from Rockwall, Texas. 14 laps into this race. Sits in 9th. He started in 3rd, and Ray, I'm going to assume he's going to try and save what he's got. If you take a look at the track facts, these drivers are going to be able to go 30 to 35 laps at best on a fuel run. 187 miles is the scheduled distance for this race. And another previous TNT winner in the chat, Cody Pinnell, agreeing, seemingly, on Donald Ray's antiquated age. Although we're not really sure. I say 147, but it's somewhere between 147 and 163. We just haven't counted the rings. Kevin Feemster, the corn-fed driver from the Hoosier State, running in 11th with Chris Fleming behind him in the shiny number 38. He's got some chrome detail on the side of that car. Check this out. Darrell Waltrip always used to say, man, I love chrome. And you gotta admit, even on the iRacing server, it looks pretty cool. That little chrome detail on the purple stripe through the race car, that looks pretty cool. Chris Fleming, the native of Riverhead, bringing a little flair to TNT, and a little nostalgia behind him as well. In position, lucky number 13, driving the Blue Deuce, the Season 4 Thursday Night Thunder champion, Thomas Andrews. With damage on the right-hand side of the Blue Deuce. And behind him, another native of Greensburg, Kentucky. You want to talk about damage? The front nose is literally dented on this car. What in the world did he do to it? Look at it. It looks, what did he do? Briley right in the 2.9. Making an otherwise beautiful car, I'm not going to say ugly. It's still a good-looking car, but he's ruined the nose. I want to see what happened to him. New kid, rookie, Nick Giampa in the 76. Hits the wall, and he has now just, with a huge blink as well. Giampa goes down the inside And he goes right to the pit, so I think Nick Giampa is going to be our first DNF, unless he's trying to repair the race car. He is being scored as out of the race, and that's a shame. I wanted to see what the new guy could do, but 16 laps into this race, and what do you get? Nick Giampa in pit lane. American driver on Taiwanese soil in the Cartoon Network 31, Texas A&M and Fubon Guardians pitcher Matt Kent racing in the top 15 with John Honeybrink, the Season 4 Talladega winner, just behind him. Colin McDonough in the 39 from Central Jersey. We were just discussing drivers from Jersey. There's, I think, 2 or 3 in tonight's race. The notable one, this guy right here, Tristan Catania from Morristown, New Jersey. I've actually had the pleasure of meeting Tristan on more than one occasion, by the way. I've met Tristan on more than one occasion, and you've got to say, he genuinely is a very, very kind person, and that goes for a lot of these drivers as well. Obviously, you know, this is our thing. This is our sim racing thing. We absolutely love this sim racing hobby of ours, and despite if these drivers run first, 31st, it does not matter. This is genuinely a good collection of people. This is good people just enjoying the hobby of sim racing week in and week out. Tristan has been one of those guys who's been with us since day one. You could not ask to be friends with a nicer guy. If you have the privilege of meeting Tristan Catania somewhere near the neighborhoods of Morristown, New Jersey, go say hi. Go make a friend. At the front, Toby Estes, one of 2 Bluegrass Bandits in tonight's race, running in the lead. The other one running in 14th. Despite the damage, Briley Wright now sneaks up to that number 2, and a couple of nostalgic paint schemes going side by side. The mid-2000s Blue Deuce, which now has another scratch, and then the dented Kevin Harvick 29 now moves into the 13th spot. Briley Wright now running in that 13th position. If you just tuned in, you have not missed a thing. Green since the start. The car that you saw coming down into the pits was Tristan Catania. 23 laps in, way earlier than I would have expected, but I guess you could call this the unofficial beginning of green flag pit stops because Josh Gaiman is also in. I'm predicting 30 to 35 laps. Drivers coming in as early as lap 23. The New Jersey pilot brings it on down. And the Drip Diecast and Collectibles track facts might just be a little off with fewer than 100 circuits remaining in the Heartland. The Indiana driver, Kevin Feemster, his Fusion cuts across the nose of St. John. Into turn 3, the 55 gets really close, and Feemster just gets away with that one. That's St. John into the wall. He's going to have some scratches on the right-hand side of that race car. Feemster, St. John, here comes Lindemann. Belleville to the lead as the green flag pit stops cycle through. And, of course, now everybody has to be wary of the speeding penalties that you can incur. Tom Sears decides this is a great time to bring his Celtics Supra down to pit lane. And if you had to ask how much Tom Sears loves the Celtics, I don't think you're prepared for the silliness of the answer that he would come up with. But, man, he loves his Celtics, especially, him being from Massachusetts. He's a big Celtics fan, and we never hear the end of it, but good for him. You can't hate a guy for cheering on his sports team there. The sophomore Seager comes in from the second position. Emily's also in the house cheering for him as well. DeSoto's Noah Belleville still out in front. 10 seconds is the gap between him and Elrich George. Toby Estes now running on the outside, trying to get around the 40. Last week at Rockingham, Elrich George got into Tommy Withers a couple of times. And George now looking to avoid some damage. He's in the second position. If a caution comes out, he's sitting pretty. And the man from Nassau in the Bahamas making up one of the parts of our international field, Matt Kent. One of the others, an American driver racing in Taiwan. Aiden Norman says he hasn't raced in a while, but he's surprised by the lack of highline runners, and maybe we're just waiting for the racing line to go higher up the racetrack, as it does, as you would expect it to do so. Perhaps it is early, and it isn't even dark out yet. The sun technically is still out on the racetrack. See if we can get a glimpse of this from Gaiman's car in turn number 1. Oh, that's not a very good view, is it? See if we can get a good look. I mean, the sky is still light out here, and it's, the track still has some cooling to do, but at the same time, there's more rubber to be laid into the racetrack, and the grip will continue to evolve. It will get better. So, Aiden, I think we're going to see the high line just start to creep up a little bit. We're taking a break next week as Gaiman goes by in the lead. There's Toby Estes in the second position. Yep, no TNT racing next week. We're going to be at the Chicagoland Speedway 2 weeks from tonight, and then 3 weeks from tonight. Something that's going to be really special. Kind of absurd, but I think it's going to be a great time. The Gen 4 cars coming to WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca. I don't know if we're ever going to see a NASCAR race at Laguna Seca, but this is probably as close as we could have gotten to one in 2002. So 3 weeks from now, no TNT racing next week, and the week after we return, round number 5 at WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. It's going to be ludicrous, but it's going to be actually a lot of fun to watch as well. Battle for the 12th position. Thomas Andrews getting around rookie Chris Fleming, and not rookie Briley Wright sits directly ahead. Ryan Lindemann also in his sophomore season from the town of Tampa, running just on the fringes of the top 10, and Brooklyn's pilot Nick Pressey up ahead in 9th. Catania, the lucky dog, he's running in 18th as he puts one tire below that white line. It's going to upset his line, and here comes Nick Pressey trying to get around him. Ooh, almost a little contact there as well. Catania just running one lap down, the only car one lap down. If the caution were to come out, Tristan does get his lap back, so he is not out of this race yet. Tanner Lockhart in the house, cheering for Ryan Lindemann and Matt Seeger. Much love for his ENEA boys. I got love for this guy as well, and I have not kept up with him as much as I need to. But that's my man, Tanner in the house. Shout out to him. I hope everything's going well for you, man. Genuinely. Let me, matter of fact, I'm going to send you a message here as soon as we're done with TNT tonight. We need to catch up. But shout out Tanner Lockhart. Shout out to everybody from ENEA as well. We don't have Connor Cordes this year, but he is a native of this track, and I don't know if he's from Kansas City. I don't know which side or which state. But shout out to Connor Cordes and Jacob Prince as well, who used to be in ENEA. He still races in TNT, but not here tonight. The defending champion for Thursday Night Thunder. is not in this roster, so we're going to have to see where he ends up when these points tumble. Noah Belleville with 2 wins already. Jacob Prince 11 points off the mark with an average finish of 2nd from those first 2 races. This is the night that Jacob Prince could really make his way to the front, as Noah Belleville is not dominating like I expected him to. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey only 4 points behind Jacob Prince and the 2-time champion, 5 points behind Jacob Prince. We'll have to see just how the order sorts itself. And at the front, Josh Gaiman in the 6-1, he is 1 second ahead of Toby Estes in the 8 and over the last 5 laps. Toby Estes has been hunting him down to the tune of not a consistent song, but really cutting him down, and I think now he has a smell of the draft. So Toby Estes, not faster than Gaiman that last time through. This time around, Toby Estes, 1/10 quicker. 9/10 the gap, and he's getting ever closer. We'll keep an eye on that one. Back to this cluster, because this is getting hairy. Matt Kent, Briley Wright, Ryan Lindemann, 9, 10, 11. There's Pressey. He runs in 8th. Here come the rest. Chris Fleming in the 1-2. Rookie Chris Fleming, by the way, in the top Dirty Dozen. There goes the 2-time champion Tom Sears. He really swings the race car out again. Colin McDonough just trying to stay within the top 15. John Honeybrink creeping up behind him. Matt Kent just staying behind here. And here's the question, do you wait? If this is you, do you take your time in this pack? Do you kind of give them space, let them sort it out? What do you do? Or do you try to burn up your resources trying to get through it all? Here's Thomas Andrews. Let's have his view. Shout out Saris, who just followed here recently. Welcome to Rick James TV. Glad you could make it. Kevin Feemster now running in that 7th position, up 5 places from where he started. He's our hardest charger so far, along with Briley Wright, who started in 19th, now running in the 14th position. And Sarah ad Astra, that's something in Latin that I think has to do with a Roman goddess. I have no idea. I saw the username pop up on the screen, and I'm thinking, okay, that's different. But yeah, welcome to Rick James TV. Glad you're here. 44 laps into this race, 125 scheduled. No cautions yet, which is just fantastic. Thomas Andrews on the outside of Chris Fleming, and they're so close, but giving each other plenty of space down the racetrack. Colin McDonough in that 39, now working on Briley Wright. This is for 14th. And Wright gets the run out of turn number 4 into turn 1. The 29 now goes away with the 14th position. Taiwan's Matt Kent running in 13th, and then Ryan Pinnell on the tail end of the Dirty Dozen. Car 12 in position 12, the pride of Kansas City, Missouri. His cousin Cody was in the chat earlier today. And Seth Wansing, also the pride of Kansas City, Missouri, although he's not in this race, unfortunately. As much as we love to have Seth around, didn't make it for his home race. He loves Kansas, but guaranteed he's off doing bigger and better things than playing sim racing on a Thursday night, right? Josh Kamen, in the 61 DIY machine, he has not been hunted down as closely as I thought by Toby Estes, but at the same time, is Toby saving? Could he be on that conservation run? We kept an eye on this battle, and you saw last lap, Toby just fell almost 3/10 off the pace, and that would explain the gap. And there you see Noah Belleville, 2 seconds in the distance, and Tom Sears a second behind him. And call it a comeback if you want to. The last season and the season prior were not as lucrative for Tom Sears as you would expect from a two-time champion, but look at him now. He's been in the top 5 all race long, and I know it's early going into this season, but he sits 4th in the points, only 16 markers behind the guy directly ahead of him. Tom Sears is back. Only one 3-time Thursday Night Thunder champion exists. He goes by the name of Aiden Norman, on a sabbatical of sorts, if you will. Now, is it going to be like Mika Hakkinen's sabbatical, where he's never going to return, or will we see him in a few short years? Time will tell, but this is the time for Tom Sears to go ahead, try and hunt down that record. Saw Hog Jazz in the chat as well, giving some love to, was it Colin McDonough? I'm so sorry, Hog Jazz, I didn't even see there, but I think he was giving some love there to Colin McDonough. I didn't see who he was talking about there. A lot of fans tonight. Grandma Jeannie, obviously one of the bigger fans of TNT and a massive fan of Noah Belleville. Emily is in the house cheering for Matt Seeger in his second TNT season, currently running in 5th. Toby Estes came down on lap 47. What does he know that the rest of us don't? Is there some reason that he's coming down so early? I'm excited to find out. So far, still caution-free, 51 laps into this race, quickly approaching halfway. And in this second stint, it's been very much the Josh Gaiman show. Toby Estes came down into the pits. Noah Belleville, over the last 5 laps, has been really in Gaiman consistently, but I don't think he's going to get to him before their respective pit stops come along, and you hear no engine noise out of car 41. Belleville is saving fuel. Have a listen. See Belleville's name at the top of that board. He is leading this race over Tom Sears, who runs in that second position. Good time as any to look at the length of the pit stop stints. Noah Belleville probably going for distance on this one. You see 30 laps. The only driver with a 3 in that top 10. Tom Sears, who has a knack for saving fuel. He's gone a couple of laps longer than Noah Belleville, but how long is he going to last? That's the question. Sears doesn't sound like he has the clutch in. He doesn't sound like he's saving fuel. Have a listen to Tom Sears, where Noah Belleville cuts the clutch in and brings the engine revs down to 0. Sears does not. And he's in. Sears is into the pits, so this is going to be the end of his pit stop stint length. 27 laps. Or 25, I'm sorry, 25 laps for Tom Sears. He's on his way in. Noah Belleville is still out on the racetrack, having done 24, and on that first stint, he ended up with 30. If this is Noah Belleville's race, he could win this on fuel mileage alone. I'm excited to see what happens. No major events if you just tuned in. Aiden Norman says everyone's trying to do one stop fewer than Toby Estes. That's why he came in so early. Going for the speed on fresh tires. And I'll tell you what, here's Toby Estes. Here's Noah Belleville. Belleville is still yet to pit. But now, what do the times say? Last time around, Toby Estes, 31:12 on the board. Noah Belleville, 32:14. Toby Estes traveling more than a second quicker than Noah Belleville on these tires. How much time is the 41 giving up on this old rubber? He has not pitted in 27 laps. He made it out to lap 30 the first time. If he goes to lap 60, he'll have to do what, 90, then 120. On this cycle, Noah Belleville will be 5 laps short. He has to gamble, or he's got to save, is what he has to do. Toby Estes, on the other hand, going for outright speed. Oh, here you go. There's your battle. There's your duel. And all the while, they've got to keep Josh Gaiman out of it as well. Gaiman pitted on lap 51. Toby Estes pitted on lap 47, only 4 laps apart, but how shredded are the tires going to be on car number 8? 59 laps into this one, quickly approaching halfway. If you've just tuned in, no yellows so far. Curse of the commentator withholding. Tristan Catania just went down a 3rd lap. He sits in the 18th position. Technically not out of this race yet, but let's be real. His chances are dwindling. But that's okay. We still like him anyway. Look at the... Oh, there goes the 48 right in front of Belleville. How about that? Belleville avoids him. 48 spins. No contact. We stay green and save of the race. Tristan Catania keeps it off the wall. He keeps it off the 41. The New Jersey pilot keeps his car in one solid piece. That was awesome. Is that McDonough coming in behind him as well? That is Colin McDonough coming into the pits. Lap 60. Unbelievable save. Unbelievably done. Honjas says 39. Great driving. See if we can have a look at Tristan coming back down into the pits. Because that was cool. Let's back this up. Hopefully we don't miss anything on the racetrack, but we have to take another look at this. So, I'm just not understanding what's going on here. Let's have another look. Let's zoom in real close. There's Catania in the 48. He's 3 laps off the pace. I don't know if he's just trying to take the air off the 41. They almost make contact. 48 loses it, and the 41 just slows up and makes no contact on board here. Well, let's take one more look. And then we'll go to onboards. Just loses it. And Belleville has just that frame of mind to put the brakes on and not do anything. On board with the 48. And now the 41. One more with Noah Belleville, because this is just unbelievable. That's just cool. Smooth driving by 41, and it's smooth hands like that that are going to get Noah Belleville the Cole Trickle move of the race. Ice cream indeed, Cole. Ice cream indeed. Belleville Running in 6th, Josh Gaiman leading this race after the pit stop cycles shake out. There's Toby Estes in the 2nd position. Again, he pitted on lap 47. It's now 64, so his tires, done. Absolutely done. We're on the back 9. We have reached halfway, caution-free so far at the Kansas Speedway. Toby Estes 1 second off the mark of Josh Gaiman. Matt Kent and Chris Fleming dueling for position on board with Fleming in the 38. The Texas A&M pitcher now pitching for the Fubon Guardians, Matt Kent in the Cartoon Network 31 machine by way of Hewitt, Texas. And I have no idea where Hewitt is. Somebody who knows where Hewitt, Texas is, put it in the chat. Let me know how far away it is. Moldy Muskrat, a.k.a. Noah Belleville with fans in the chat. Grandma Jeannie's in the house. Noah's mom is in the house. And the 2-time winner this season looking to extend that points lead, the Missouri pilot. Up 11 points on Jacob Prince, who's not in tonight's race. Kevin Feemster, the Hoosier native. He's in 5th, up 7 places from where he started. Feemster's only getting quicker. And shout out Donald Ray as well, the pride of Rockwall, Texas. And somebody who's looking up where Hewitt, Texas is. Let me know how far away Hewitt. You know what? I can do it myself. I don't know why I'm asking somebody to do this. Anyway, shout out Donald Ray, who's in the 4th position as well. He's having a brilliant race so far. Emily asking what happened with Matt Seeger, and it's the sophomore Matt Seeger who's running in 11th, dropped off so many spots, and you know, truth be told, I'm not sure here. He looks like he had an average pit lane time. His pit stop time also average as well. Not sure if he hit the wall, just got loose. Maybe not adapting as well as the rest of his rivals, colleagues out on the racetrack, and a little bit of work to do for the 16. But we're only on lap 69 of 125. Plenty of racing remains. Matt Kent in the 31. Running in 9th, Chris Fleming up ahead in that 8th position. Noah Belleville in 5th, and things have quieted down for now, up until you get outside the top 12. Colin McDonough now working on Ryan Lindemann. And a couple of old ENEA rivals going nose to tail. Seeger in the 16, Lindemann in the 51, and it's a bit of a reunion for these former drivers. They did race together in TNT last season as well, battling for the 11th spot. Andrews up 6 places from where he started. He's battling with Matt Kent. And another New Jersey pilot in 9th. Further on up, here comes Belleville. And how about that for a sight of nostalgic race cars? The 5, the 41. And I think canonically these cars were apart for a few years, but still a couple of awesome paint schemes. You gotta love the old Terry Labonte cars. And then we were talking about this one a couple of weeks ago. I think this was primarily a Jimmy Spencer car in the 41, but I don't know if anybody else drove it. I think we settled on no, nobody else drove this. This was only Jimmy Spencer. But still, for the few years that it ran, great looking race car. Gaiman continues to extend his lead. 4 1/3 seconds over Toby Estes, whose withering tires are now giving way to Noah Belleville. And just for illustration, over the last 5 laps, Toby consistently slower than Josh Gaiman by a minimum of 0.3, and Noah Belleville Look at the last 5 laps. 1 second, 1 second, 9 tenths, 7 tenths, 6 tenths. So the gap's slowing, and 4.5 seconds between them. And I'm terrible at math, so let's see if we can do some quick math here. But there is the chart for stint length. Last time around, Josh Gaiman, 25 laps. Toby Estes, 20 laps in that second stint, but now he's gone 25. So Aiden's theory of Toby going for pure speed, he's going for the fastest tires he can, but he's stretching this one out, possibly as far as the other stint went. Where how far did he go? Looks like Toby Estes, 27 laps the first one. He's about to hit his 27th lap now. So Toby Estes is mixing up the strategy. Noah Belleville went 31 laps on that last stint. So presumably he needs to go 32 laps on this stint, 33 laps on the final stint to have just enough fuel to make it to the end. He looks like he got a little loose there, but he saved it. Running in third and on a fuel-saving run to make it all the way to the end. But if he's not fast enough, he's going to be saving fuel to finish on the podium, not win the race. Again, you hear nothing but wind on the 41. Let's go on board again. Noah is pushing the clutch in and saving fuel. Gaiman is in. The leader, Josh Gaiman, is in. Looking at the last stint length. Here we go. 25 laps for Josh Gaiman. It's not enough. At this point, it's not enough. If Gaiman goes another 25 laps, that will take him to lap 112, I think. And then he'll have enough. But then no, my math is super wrong. What in the hell am I thinking? Why did I say 112? What the hell is 78 plus 25? 103? Right, so then he's going to have to go another 22 laps to the end, and, well, by the end of his stint, he'll have enough fuel to make it, but will he have the position on the racetrack? I told you I'm terrible at math. Never trust me with math or doing any sort of calculations. I'm just not great at that. Josh Gaiman in 11th. But now with fresh tires, with a lot of speed. Toby Estes pitted on lap 75 as well. So now what kind of strategy is Toby Estes on? We've seen him go 27 laps. He still has, regardless, all of these drivers have one more stop. But now the question is, do they short pit? Do they try the undercut and get the track position? Noah Belleville, he last pitted on lap 61. He's got plenty of time left. Expect his next pit stop 10 laps from now. Matt Kent goes around. The American pitcher from Taiwan last pitted on lap 75. He is now running in the 16th position. Kevin Feemster, the Indiana native. He last pitted on lap 76, and he has been getting faster and faster as the race goes on. The Texan Donald Ray has come in. Chris Fleming is down for tires and fuel. Tom Sears just went green, and I mean that also on the timesheet as well as the race car. 30.29 seconds, his personal best. Only getting faster. Soon enough, we're going to have a purple time up on that board. We're going to have a driver that puts in the quickest lap of this race. Josh Gaiman, now with fresh tires, gets around Noah Belleville easily. Gaiman unlaps himself, and he finds himself in 8th. Thomas Andrews is in. Approaching the final 40. Noah Belleville still leading Emily, cheering on for Seeger as well. And the sophomore, Matt Seeger, in the number 16, currently finds himself running in third under this pit stop cycle. Let's bring up the pit stint lengths again. And there you see last time around for Matt Seeger, he ended up going 31 laps. So he's also possibly on a fuel conservation run. We'll see just how far he can go. Let's go to one of our show's producers here, Philip, for comment on Matt Seeger's fuel run. And no comment from Philip. He was very talkative earlier, and now he wants to be silent. What do you know? Just cats, right? I'm sure we'll get a word here from Philip in just a moment. Possibly Sebastian as well. Matt Seeger continues to sit in third. Nick Pressey in second, and Noah Belleville to the front of this race. And just ahead of him, Toby Estes, who's unlapped himself. 41 laps to go next time by. Toby Estes trying to get closer to the top 5 there. Josh Gaiman just 4 seconds ahead of him. But again, it's the battle of who's got the fresher tires. Let's see if we can hear from one of our show's producers, Sebastian, on the tire strategy. Now, who do you think is going to have the tires to get to the end of the race? A lot of wise words there from another one of our show's producers here. Let's see if we can coax a comment from another one of our show's producers, Philip. How do you feel about the tire strategy? And why do you think the tires are going to last the way that they last? So far, some more wise words from the Peanut Gallery, a.k.a. the producers of Rick James TV here. The very hungry and tubby producers of Rick James TV. There he is. T. Lockhart, a big fan of Philip, who's actually, I think, Philip finding himself in sort of a commentary role, but definitely not the most talkative commentator there ever was. And a little bit of a blurb there from Philip as well. All right, enough messing around with the cats. We got, what, 40-some, less than 40 to go, actually. Matt Seeger still in third. We have yet for him to come into the pits, although he should be coming down this time through. I gotta find a more efficient way to get my cats onto the stream, right? Tanner just said it best in the chat. 50% business, 50% shenanigans. I think it's just mostly shenanigans at this point. But I think it's just enough business to consider this serious. But definitely all shenanigans when it comes to cats. If you hear some crashing here, that's literally the show's producers trying to climb over my my equipment. Anyway, let's see if we can finish this race before my cats unplug my stuff. Noah Belleville continues to lead. Nick Pressey is 12 seconds behind him, and Josh Gaiman runs 8 seconds behind him in the third position. We have 35 laps to go until this race reaches its scheduled distance. A late race caution could have us going further than that. Josh Gaiman last pitted on lap 76. We know the cars can go 30 laps on fuel at best. Josh Gaiman will make it to lap 106. The magic number here is 95. Drivers need to make it at anybody who pits, 6 laps from now, will be good to go on fuel if they save. That's the key. If they choose to save fuel. and one of the show's producers, like I said earlier, trying to destroy the set and kind of ruin all my equipment here. We'll see. This is the danger when you bring out treats on stream. You have the cars going around trying not to crash, and then the cat's trying to crash the rest of the stream here. So we'll try and keep those beasts away from the equipment as the cars revolve around the racetrack. And Belleville is in. Noah Belleville is in. He's going to need to go 32 laps to make this, to go all the way to the end, to make this count. Let's bring up that chart again with our stint length. And really here, there's Noah Belleville. He went 31 this last time. He went 31 this time. 31 laps from here is not going to cut it. He needs to get behind somebody and draft. He's losing positions down the chart, and he's going to need to make up those positions through this pit stop length stint. Josh Gaiman to the lead. Last pitting on lap 76. He will pit before lap 106. Toby Estes in that second position. He pitted on 75. They're 5.6 seconds apart, and they might be on similar pit strategies. So now it's going to be this strategy versus Noah Belleville, who's now climbing up the charts. Last pitting on lap 92, and still might not be enough to get to the end of this race. We've seen him go as far as 31 laps on a fuel run. Can he go 32 laps and get to the end of this race and win? He's got to be fast enough to then win. Matt Kent, Chris Fleming, they've been battling all night long. The Texas A&M pitcher now just ahead of car 38 by 0.2 of a second. Fighting it out for the 6th position. Meanwhile, Ryan Lindemann wants to have a discussion with Thomas Andrews about 8th position. Let's go on board with the two. Tom Sears now battling it out with Matt Seeger, but that's not for position. Seeger finds himself in the 13th spot, 1 lap off the pace, closer to 2 laps off the pace, and a late race caution for him would be heavenly because all those cars ahead of him that are 1 lap down, only one of them is going to get their lap back. Matt Seeger could be in a prime position in a late race caution situation. Now, Josh Gaiman and Toby Estes have both come down into the pits, so a lot of drivers are going to make up a lot of ground, and Noah Belleville becomes your new leader with 26 laps to go at Kansas. He's got the clutch in. Have a listen. Takes it back in, and nothing but silence as we wait for the next driver in second. Due to the pit stop cycle, Chris Fleming. It's 15 seconds and change as he sails behind Noah Belleville. Lockhart says he thinks Matt Seeger, a.k.a. Shotgun's going to finish in the top 5 after the pits. We'll see just where he's going to end up. He runs in 8th right now. He pitted on lap 93. Has he been saving enough fuel? Looking at that stint length, we're going to be looking at these numbers a lot as the race goes on. Matt Seeger has been able to run roughly, what, 31 laps. 30 to 31 laps. We saw him do 31. If he can do 32, he's, again, right at the cusp of making it. He went 33 on that last stint. It is possible. So if Seeger can go 33, if Matt Seeger can go 33 laps, he's got enough fuel to get to the end of this race, but just barely. Matt Seeger and Noah Belleville must do the exact same thing and go 33 laps. With all the love in the world for Matt Seeger, if he can go 33 laps on this fuel, Noah Belleville can go 33 laps. And the only reason I say it like that is because Belleville has been saving religiously since that first, pit stop stint. Saving fuel. So on this, 33 laps is unprecedented up until this point. Seeger can do 33. Anybody else feasibly can do 33 as well. Matt Seeger might know something that the rest of the field doesn't. It just gets more exciting. We get closer to the wire. This is going to be a very quick 20 laps that we race to the end of this race. Noah Belleville in the lead by an absurd amount of time. Just ridiculous. What is this? 33 laps? Or, I'm sorry. No, 15 seconds that he's got there. 33 laps is the desired stint length. He's got almost 16 seconds now on Nick Pressey. Drew in the chat asking if there's an iRating cap. No, we don't have an iRating cap, Drew. Thursday Night Thunder, just a Gen 4 league. Thursday nights. You would need to be in the ARC's Discord, so you can go ahead and take a link. If we're on Discord, Drew, go ahead and send me a message. We'll see about getting you into Thursday Night Thunder. We'll talk about it there. But anybody else, you know, if you're a sim racer, if you enjoy Gen 4 racing, if you enjoy just the love of the racing, come on down. Let's have you race Thursday Night Thunder. Let's talk about how you get into Thursday Night Thunder and how you race with us. This is our 9th season. We've been doing this, it will be 5 years in the spring. And we love to do it. We love the racing, and most of all, we just, you know, the pageantry, the nostalgia. Look at some of these amazing paint schemes here in the 41, in the 2. We're so much so that we're even partnered with a company that it enjoys the nostalgia of racing as well. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, that bring us all of our track graphics, or that sponsor all of our track graphics, I should say. They are probably one of the #1 stores on the internet for NASCAR memorabilia. Not just NASCAR, but sports as well. But if you love any of these classic paint schemes that you see here, Toby Estes in the 8. You've got Tom Sears. Well, I'm sorry, not Tom Sears. We had Tom Andrews in the #2, obviously. Kevin Feemster. I think Robbie Gordon drove this Jim Beam race car as well. The Mac Tonight car of Ryan Pinnell's driving right now. Love it. Briley Wright has one. The Kevin Harvick 29. Who doesn't know this one? Who doesn't love this paint scheme? All of these paint schemes and a lot more NASCAR memorabilia you can find out on Drip Diecast and Collectibles. There they are again. Drip Diecast and Collectibles, your #1 Facebook and eBay store for all sorts of NASCAR and other sports memorabilia for you, for someone you love, from someone you don't love. It doesn't matter. Get a piece of your NASCAR history. Drip Diecast and Collectibles on eBay and Facebook, your #1 online store for NASCAR and sports memorabilia. Check them out. The pride of DeSoto, Missouri, Noah Belleville, leading still with 16 laps to go and an immense fuel-saving strategy. No sound, nothing. Cuts the revs to 0. He has the unique challenge of going 33 laps on this tank of fuel, as does Matt Seeger, who's running in 6th. He started in 7th. He's got a positive run here. Colin McDonough pitted 4 laps before Matt Seeger. He will not have the gas to go the distance. Toby Estes, Josh Gaiman, both pitted on lap 98. They have more than enough fuel to go the distance. Gaiman, 7.5 seconds faster than Toby Estes, and over the last 5 laps, Toby Estes has been consistently quicker than Gaiman. But is there enough time? I don't think, at the rate Toby's gaining, I don't think 13 laps is going to be enough time to catch up to Gaiman. If Nick Pressey and Noah Belleville do not have the gas to go to the end, Josh Gaiman would be in that position to win this race. Lucky number 13 laps to go this time by, and the Missouri pilot leads the Brooklyn pilot. Gaiman in 3rd, Toby Estes in 4th. Sophomore Matt Seeger sitting in 5th. He's got the same strategy as Noah Belleville, but he pitted 1 lap further than Noah Belleville. He's also miles behind the rest of the competition. A win may be out of the question for Matt Seeger, but certainly not a podium. Briley Wright just went green. Fastest lap of the night, 30:44 for him. His fastest lap of the night. Elrich George, he's 8/10 ahead of Thomas Andrews, who's looking to get into the top 12 before we close out the night. Caution free for all 113 laps tonight, despite cars getting loose, despite a couple of cars, one car spinning as well. Check this out. This is Tristan Catania on lap 57. Just gets loose right ahead of Noah Belleville. Belleville smartly puts on the brakes. Watch this. No caution, 1 car, and no contact. Tristan Catania, as of now, out of this race, unfortunately, but we'll see him in a couple of weeks at Chicagoland. Tom Sears, 8 seconds away from the top 5, and Nick Pressey in jeopardy of losing 2nd. Josh Gaiman slides his way into the silver medal spot. He is 14 seconds behind Noah Belleville. And the only 2 things that can stop Noah Belleville from winning this race at this point: running out of fuel and a late race caution. The 41 going for his 3rd consecutive win and a commanding lead before the break. The pride of DeSoto, Missouri. Is this finally his year for a Thursday Night Thunder championship? For years, we have been mocking this kid as a part-time driver. When are you going to run a full season, Moldy? When are you going to finally win a championship? This is why you don't win, because you don't run a full season. This could be his year. However, this, if he doesn't, it's entirely up to the driver. We'll see if he continues this campaign, but he has started this campaign off so well, unbelievably well. The driver that's second in points, Jacob Prince, not in tonight's roster. There's a 15-point gap between Noah Belleville and the next guy down in the line who's in this race. That's Nick Pressey, who's running in third. Toby Estes now catching up to him to the tune of several tenths a lap. And this is going to be a great start for Toby's TNT campaign as well. The Brooklyn pilot. 6 laps to go. He's got 6.5 seconds to hold on. Noah Belleville. Time not a factor for him. He's got time to burn. Over the last 5 laps, Josh Gaiman reeling him into the tune of 4 tenths a second. It doesn't matter. Noah Belleville could lose, 2 seconds a lap to Josh Gaiman, and at this pace, it would not be enough. Belleville would still win by a couple of seconds. Fuel saving is the name of the game for the 41, and how well is he playing it? Gaiman pitting on lap 98. He's got more than enough fuel to go the distance. That last time through, only 3 tenths quicker than Noah Belleville. Thomas Andrews. Now under Briley Wright, this is for 12th. 4 to go next time by. If you're watching this on your screen, thank you so much for tuning in. Genuinely. It is a labor of love to do this every week. For myself, for the drivers, for the people that watch, for Grandma Jeannie, for Emily, for the real people who are fans of these real drivers behind their sim racing rigs. This is a joy. This is our pleasure. And in our 9th season, I just want to make it abundantly clear that it is not possible to do any of these shenanigans with our friends, with my cats that I coax to make noise on the stream here with treats. None of that is possible without you folks tuning in. Thank you so much for being a part of Thursday Night Thunder, whether this is your 100th race watching or your first race. It is not possible without you. Thank you for being around and having fun with us every Thursday night. 12 seconds the gap, 3 miles to go. Noah Belleville will go 33 laps on this stint if he can make it to the end. Matt Seeger looking to secure a top 5. Own Jazz also admitting that the producers make this a special broadcast when they're not otherwise making noise. And when I promise you when I tell you this, my cats were trying to climb on top of my stuff to get to these treats. I've got to find a more efficient way to get to get their comments. Love from Grandma Jeannie as well. Fans, thank you so much. We still have so much more racing to go this season. We are taking a break next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks at the Chicagoland Speedway. And then the week after that, probably what has never been seen before, is the Gen 4 cars racing at Laguna Seca. Half a lap to go. Belleville can coast if he wants to. It will be win number 3 in the first 3 races of the season. The pride of DeSoto gets the hat trick. Belleville will win in the Heartland. He extends his points lead at Kansas. Ryan Lindemann in a tight battle. Matt Kent in the 31, sitting in 9th. Lindo in 10th. Chris Fleming is close. Will he push the issue off of turn number 4? Kent will get 9th. Lindo in 10th. Chris Fleming running in 11th. One last-ditch effort from Thomas Andrews to get to Briley Wright, and the Kentucky pilot will secure 12th. Donald Ray in 15th, Tristan Catania in 18th, rookie Nick Giampa 20th. 3 wins for Noah Belleville, and his lead grows even larger. We're going to have Noah, Josh, and Nick on the podium. We're going to talk points, and Noah's going to burn the house down. Great win for him. Grandma Jeannie, a big fan as well. And maybe Noah's just going to keep it silent. Who knows? In any case, we're going to have top three on the podium, fans. Give us just a moment, and we'll be back in a minute. On the podium with our top three, starting with tonight's bronze medalist, the pride of Brooklyn, one Nicholas Pressey. Nick, third tonight, and the points lead just extends, but you hold your spot in second going into the break. How was your race?
I was second. Yeah,
In
but
the points, you're second.
oh wow. Amelia, I'm a bit surprised, but that is delightful news to hear. I feel pretty good. Uh, after the way I have a, I'm, in- I've noticed I have a bad habit of kind of throwing away the first stint there, and I think that's what's costing me more points I than I could get. But today was a really good recovery after hitting the wall on like lap five-ish. I decided to switch to the fuel saving strat and just barely had enough to get across the line.
Enough to get across the line in third, enough to get a second place tie in the points with Josh Gaiman heading into the break. Congratulations on third. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. On to tonight's silver medalist in that number 61. Josh, at a lot of points in this race, it looked like you had a chance to win. What was the difference maker?
Just that the fuel strategy at the end of it was really what made the difference. I just timed it all wrong, and he just got that huge gap on that last pit stop cycle, and I just couldn't run him down.
Going into the break, you're tied. Second in the points with Nick Pressey. Noah Belleville's lead at the top is 21 markers. Headed into Chicagoland 2 weeks from now. How are you going to close it down?
You just got to stay consistent, and I hate to say it, hope for a couple cautions here and there.
We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. Enjoy the break. Congratulations on second. On to hat trick. Noah Belleville, 3 wins in 3 starts this season. Your full-time campaign might be in jeopardy. Well, we don't have to get into that here, but if this is to remain your full-time campaign, this genuinely could be your best chance to win a TNT championship. Great win tonight. How do you think the rest of the season is going to unfold?
Yeah, especially with Prince kind of missing this race, that definitely helps. He's obviously the guy that you're looking at that you got to beat. He's really fast, but he didn't make it today, so that really helped out. And this is probably the best season I've had to start. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to be able to make all the races, but if I can, I definitely want to go for the championship. But I really want to aim to beat Aiden's win record. That'd be kind of cool.
We got to do some stats and find out how many wins he has, because those 3 seasons he just put on I mean, literally an unparalleled and
Well,
unbeaten performance.
I don't know about total, but the season when I think it's 8 that he
It's
got
it's
in
8.
season,
He broke
so-
it. He broke that
yeah.
record. What? Season 7 with 8 wins. I thought, or he tied it. No, did he tie Tom Sears or did he break it? Anyway, we'll have to delve into the
I think
record
he
books. We'll find out. Anyway, much love from Grandma Jeannie in the chat. Much love from a lot of fans as well. Tanner Lockhart extending some congratulations. Also, the fuel strategy worked for you tonight. 2 weeks from now, we're going to be at Chicagoland. Assuming you're going to be at that race, is it going to be very much the same thing?
It races a lot like Kansas, and I was really surprised with how much tire fall off was at this track. I mean, it was almost 2.5 seconds. So, and Chicagoland is obviously the same way. It could be even more. So you're definitely going to see the same strategies alike, but it really just comes down to how the fuel lines up with the pit cycles, because it was really in between for this race, which is kind of why you saw a lot of different strategies. But if it's really kind of straightforward at Chicagoland, you won't really see any crazy strategies happening, but tire saving will definitely be a factor.
We'll see what happens in a couple of weeks. Congratulations on your 3rd win this season. We'll see you after the break.
Adios.
Fans at home, another TNT race in the books. 3 successful races, and now we get to breathe for a moment. The majority of us are going to the Peach State. We're going to go see NASCAR in Atlanta next week, so who knows? Get on TV. You might see, well, don't get on. We're going to try and get on TV. You see if you can see some of us in the stands. The week after that, we're going to go to Chicagoland, and then the week after that, we're going to Laguna Seca. Gen 4 cars at Laguna Seca. It's probably going to be something you've never seen before, and you may never see again in iRacing. Who knows? We're going to have some fun with it, so we hope you come down and have fun with us too. Fans at home, until that next